If you're in digital marketing, you've probably felt AI shaking up everything from SEO to PPC. On this episode of Clarity Digital Pod, I sat down with Google Ads expert Mark Kelly from Inbound Revenue to break down what's working, what's not, and how AI is changing the game. Let's get into it. All right, let's go. Happy Friday, Mr. Mark. Welcome back.
Thank you, sir. It's good to be back, and I'm glad it's Friday. This is really a TGIF.
Good for you. I saw you drinking earlier. Can you show us your drink?
Yes, a Cabernet, just a Cabernet, a Friday afternoon
I'm
Cabernet.
still in coffee. The 3 hour time zone difference is.
It's early.
I'll switch to that later in 3 hours.
It's been one of those weeks.
Yeah, I bet. I'm kidding. I don't drink. For those of you that know what is Al talking about, I don't drink. But I'm gonna in my head. I do drink
those,
non-alcoholic stuff. Yeah,
You
the fake
drink
stuff.
those fake beers.
Yeah, they actually taste pretty good.
They do. I have some of
Yeah,
them.
they don't taste like Oduls. They taste like I like
No.
the Heineken Zero or Beck's. Like they actually taste, because when I used to drink, they taste very similar, and they might even have a little bit of alcohol, but it's not enough for it to be
Yeah, it's a tiny
alcoholic.
little bit. It's like a lot of things have a tiny little bit, but
Yeah,
I think I have some Heineken or some St. Pauli Girl Zero in
yeah.
there. And the O'Doul's thing turned everybody off.
The Oduls are terrible. Yeah, they just messed
Yeah,
it up.
they
Yeah.
were awful. That was the first, like, near beer, and it was just like, "Oh, that's awful," but then they figured it out.
Yeah, for sure. They did. Cool. Welcome back. A lot has changed since you and I talked last. I think it was back in May, right, or April.
Yeah, it's been a few
That's when
months.
it was. Yeah, it's been a few months, and wanted to see what you're up to. How is this market treating you? How's AI treating you and your business?
The AI is an unknown thing. Now, in my particular business, which is Google Ads, Google just released Search AI or Search Max AI, whatever it is. As expected, everything I've heard from it is total crap show. I'm keeping it clean.
Yeah. I think we can get away with the C word there.
So take PMax and make it worse.
Yeah.
That's what they've done. It started to pop up on recommendations, though, implement our AI, but for some reason, Google has a limited ability to improve on the base product. It's like what they had worked really well, and they keep coming up with new things, probably because everyone has to come up with new things, but it hasn't outperformed the base product, the basic search campaigns.
Yeah, that's what I heard too. I think Google is just reacting at this point because I think they got caught off guard with OpenAI release of ChatGPT and how good it was and how crappy Bard was, and then it became Gemini. Now Gemini's got a lot better. I actually like it now, but Google fell behind in the AI world. They got too comfortable, and then nobody challenged them for decades. And then all of a sudden comes ChatGPT and then Perplexity and Claude, and now people are using those as a search engines, at least when it comes to informational stuff. Like I was actually in another meeting earlier today on the B2B side, which we work with. A lot of clients are saying that their search organic traffic from Google has dropped because in B2B there's a lot of demand generation. There's a lot of like a higher funnel type of blogging. They focus a lot on that type of things.
It'll
And
be interesting to see. I think it'll affect SEO negatively and potentially affect PPC positive, Google Ads positively.
that was actually the finding, was that the finding wasn't exactly affecting SEO negatively. It's basically saying that Google is becoming more transactional because people are not going to Google to look for information anymore. Like at the more this,
I think that's what the AI will cover.
as soon as people figure out, oh, ChatGPT or Claude or whatever gives me a better answer, they're gonna skip Google. But for transaction, they'll still go to Google because those stuff are not giving you that, at least not yet.
I think that the AI, from my perspective, as a Google Ads practitioner, is noise, and Google still remains signal. People will make their buying decisions on Google.
Yeah, so I think what's happening is that because again, like I said, B2B, doing a lot of B2B, the consumer journey is no longer starting at Google, but it could still very well end at Google, right? So
That's all I care about.
people can start somewhere else, but when they're ready to buy, they can still go to Google. So I think we as and same thing with SEO. Maybe we don't. A lot of times we wanted to rank for informational stuff. Maybe we need to start thinking about ranking for transactional stuff, because people, and then for informational stuff, we want to increase our visibility in ChatGPT, and that's a different ball game. They have different. I've been looking into that. That's more of a branding and digital PR, and not so much about the traditional SEO. And Google also trying to compete with them with the Google AI mode, which hasn't been fully released to everybody yet. I suspect that I still like Google when I search for things that I'm looking for, that I'm not in a research mode. If I'm looking for local business, I go nowhere else but Google. That's where I go. If I'm looking for image search, I usually start Google because Google has already indexed them, and it shows up a lot faster. Like, one of the problem I have with AI is that even though it takes a couple of seconds, if you're searching a lot, it adds up. It's annoying because every time you tell it something, it thinks about it, then it gives you a result. Because of it indexes first, it gives you things really quickly. So I think Google will continue to be relevant for both SEO and SEM, at least for the time being. But I think that the search behaviors will change, where
Well, I
people
think
will go
big
there
thing
for
with
more instant results.
the big thing with local SEO, and I'm not a local SEO guy, but if I was, I would assume that I need to put all my attention into ranking on maps, because till you get past LSAs, till you get past Google Ads, till you get past maps and get to organic results, and
Yeah,
90% of those are Wikipedia or Angie's List or something like that. That's a really tough game to try to
yeah.
get people to click by scrolling way down the page.
And they don't do it, especially if they're on the mobile. We had
Yeah,
this news
mobiles are
is yeah,
yeah.
this news is a couple months old. We had a car accident attorney client, and we tested it. We wanted them to rank in Irvine, where I live, and he ranked Irvine car accident attorney. I think it was number. He would dance between number one and two and three, but it was always top three. But he had different phone numbers on his organic website that is GMB through call tracking. We realized that even though he was ranking prominently in organic, the number one driver of calls were LSAs in that
Mhm.
order. LSAs, GMBs, paid traditional Google PPC, and then SEO.
Yeah, that makes sense, and we've taken on LSAs too because to me, they're like help you own that top of the page, and sometimes your LSAs work beautifully, sometimes your LSAs
Yeah, it's
go
crapshoot,
down.
like because you have no control.
Yeah, so you take both of them. You take
Yeah,
Google Ads, you take the LSA, and then what people don't realize is everything is set it and forget it for most folks. With LSA, if you're not on top of it, they're only showing 2 ads up there. So
yeah. So
you have to
explain to me how, if you're not on top of it, what do you do to optimize LSAs? There's not much you can do.
you make sure that you answer your calls. That's number 1 because
Yeah.
response time is huge. Make sure you're getting your reviews. But
Okay.
the other thing is like when we monitor, for example, we're going to report to a client today that while he was away, 8 message leads that came in that were like bottom of the funnel didn't get responded to.
Yeah.
2 things there. First of all, the business owner would never know that because no one has time to manage or monitor their LSAs. First of all, the business owner would never know that. Second of all, if you don't respond, Google will look for someone that does and put that up there, responds in 1 hour, responds in 24 hours, whatever
Yeah.
it is. Most of our LSA management, which is super cheap, by the way, is more of just trying to get people to do the things they should do.
Yeah.
The other aspects are like you can have things go out. If you don't pay attention to it, your insurance could lapse because you have to send in like insurance during the verification
Mhm.
process. Let's say your insurance lapsed at the end of June or your contract did, you re-upped that insurance, but Google doesn't know that. So they're like, oh, your insurance ended the end of June. So
Yeah.
therefore we're not going to show your ads. So it's just maintenance, really.
Let me
Making
ask
sure
you a
people are
question.
doing what they're
Yeah.
supposed to do, which
Is
no
it
one.
better? Is it better to have your LSA under your main Google Ads account, or you have to have a different account? That's the
I've
question.
always seen it under the main Google. It doesn't
Okay.
matter. You just have to have a Google Ads account. I don't know of any advantage to having it in a separate one.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
guess
and
if you
also,
I don't even know if you can have it in a
so I
separate
want to
one.
tell you why I asked that question. We had a client. that we had his Google My. He had already set up his Google Ads in another email, and then
Mhm.
his Google My Business profiles in another email, and then LSA is attached to your GMB. So we set up his GMB, I mean his LSA through the other email
Right.
where the GMBs were at. And I really tried integrating these two, and I couldn't. Essentially, we linked them. You can link him, but you can move everything to one email. And I'm just curious to see if there's an advantage of having all of it in one place. Because in SEO, there is a slight advantage if you have your Google My Business and Google Search Console and everything in one place, and Google Analytics. There's a little bit of
I
data.
would think it would be much easier to manage, and you can set up your location extension if it's
Yeah, location extension.
the only disadvantage I could see is in a case where you got your Google Ads account suspended, would they also suspend your LSA? That I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah.
Um,
And why
that
would
I
you want to
don't
get
know.
your
I've
Google
not run
Ads
into that
suspended?
situation. They don't suspend accounts like they used to, though.
Yeah,
2 years ago, they were going like hog wild, like Facebook, just suspending people left and right, but
yeah.
not so much now.
Yeah, I think yeah, I'm curious to see. I'm curious to see if there's advantage or disadvantage because it's a lot of businesses, whether they're small or large, they don't think about this stuff when they're setting up Google Analytics. Even the larger companies. I was the other day. I was talking with a larger company, e-commerce company. They had, excuse me, three different emails for different accounts. One email for Google Search Console, one for Google Ads, and
Yeah,
one
that
was for
doesn't
some.
make much sense to me because
Yeah, and because different people at different time created these,
or your
and
agent, some agency comes in and
yeah,
sets this
people
up.
jump
That's the
agents.
worst.
Yeah, that's definitely something that I'm curious about. But let's go back to AI again. So you and I were chatting on DM the other day, and you said you're going to run some tests, manual CPC versus a
Yeah, I'm
per.
just about to do that actually,
Okay, you haven't done that
because
yet.
what really is ticking me off is we typically start campaigns max clicks,
Yeah,
which is a Google Ads
because you're trying to get
automatically.
data.
It's a The problem is that it sometimes starts super slow. And now I've got a client up my butt, like, how come there's no ads running? I'm like, there's a learning period. It's
Yeah,
up to 12 days, but they don't want to hear that. So
yeah,
I'm like thinking,
and
why
they
don't I
like to
just,
see their own ads, even though you tell them that's not
yeah, they
the.
want to see their own ads and they're sending me images of, oh, my ads aren't shown anywhere. I'm like, yeah, I'm painfully aware of that, but that's not on me. That's on the algorithm. And
Yeah,
then,
and what I usually tell them is that actually we don't want you to see your own ads because we want your customers to see them. You're not
yeah,
your own
the
customer,
problem
dude.
in this case is they're like not,
Yeah,
yeah, we're only 48 hours in. So it's a slightly
yeah,
obsessed client, but they're simply max clicks isn't showing ads. And I know that it's not, we haven't set some incredibly low click cost or something like that. So it's literally just the algorithm taking its time. So I'm thinking I'll just run a manual campaign. I haven't run manual for a while, and I'll run it exact match because exact match is not exact match.
yeah. It's
It's
terrible.
not even close to
It's
exact match
terrible.
anymore.
It's like more of a. It reminds me of a maybe a phrase match, like exact match. It's really a phrase match, or even
Yeah,
a
phrase
broad
match
match
used
modif.
to,
It's
yeah.
more of a broad match, the old broad match modifier. It's just like not
Yeah,
exact.
it's almost like that, except if you do braces near me, it shows orthodontic searches. So orthodontic would not have shown up under the old exact match rules. It
Yeah,
wouldn't have shown up under the old phrase match rules, and it wouldn't have shown up under the old broad match modifier rules. They just decided orthodontists do braces, but we did braces specifically because that term converts at a much higher rate than orthodontist, if that makes sense.
yeah.
So
This is me getting a little philosophical for it. Google is putting its revenue before doing the right thing.
they do no harm. They
Yeah,
do no, they do. Isn't that what they're do no? Yeah, that can't be because
yeah.
I read their slogan.
Yeah, I as an
Well, no,
SEO
yeah, they
guy,
do.
every time they said, "Oh, do what's right for the user," I'm like, "Yeah, BS. I'm not gonna."
That's why every recommendation is to increase your budget, add broad match.
Yeah, it's all
Go
money. It's
team.
all money. Yeah, if they want to
Yeah,
make more money, but the problem what that's doing is that's turning people off the other channels. People are fed up with it, and like social media, Microsoft, and very soon this AI stuff like Perplexity. and it has now a shopping feed for e-commerce, I would not be surprised if they start providing some sort of ads and like Perplexity ads or ChatGPT. But for the time being, Google is never the game, and I think it will be like that for a long time until robots completely take over in our lives and we have a bigger
It
problem.
won't matter because we won't
It
have
won't
to do
matter.
anything but
We'll
plug
probably
in
be
cameras,
dead.
paint pictures,
We'll probably be dead. Yeah.
and work for the robots.
Work for the
I'm pretty
robots.
sure
Yeah.
we'll work for the
Yeah.
robots.
Terminator. Yeah. But yeah, I think yeah, that's definitely Google's putting profits before because I don't even like LSAs that much. I feel like we spent so many years mastering an SCM. There was Google Ad certifications and all that stuff, and then all of a sudden LSAs pop up out of nowhere, and,
LSAs are a
and
challenge.
you can't even optimize them that
They
much.
only
It's
give you
just
certain categories.
yeah, and you have very high level categories like attorney, like or estate
Right.
planning. What if I'm estate planning, but I don't want to do a certain part of estate planning. I just want litigation.
Right.
I don't want non litigation. That was the challenge we had with a former client. It's like, hey, LSA is bringing me a lot of leads, but I only care about litigations. I don't want to create living trust for anybody. I'm like, dude, I don't know.
You know how it is. People think that we are like holding out on them somehow. Like it's not us. I would only have your ad show for the exact thing that you want to show your ad for.
Yeah,
Try
it's not us. Even the exact match, like you said earlier, is not exact match.
not
And
even
then
close.
the search volumes that Google Ad Keyword Planner tell you is a complete joke. That's nowhere close to be a reality.
I think the hidden charge is that with all this expanded search and
Yeah.
particularly a lot of people running campaigns based on Google's guidelines, which is
Yeah.
broad match, PMatch, they're driving up click. They're not only driving up volume, they're driving up click costs for the people that actually know what they're doing. So there's some niches that are really hard to make it in. Let's say pressure washing,
Yeah.
because the cost per click is so high that a lead has to convert, your leads have to convert almost 100% into sales to make
Yeah.
it viable. So they've driven up the click costs. And I think that's the strategy, drive the click cost up and then drive the revenue up. So it's not just that they're getting people to spend more, they're spending more on each click.
Yeah. I'm still a big advocate of branding. This is something I learned when I worked at Experian back in 2000. I don't know. I worked for Experian twice. One was I was a program, and then I went back as a technical SEO. And the second time I was part of the marketing team. I collaborated a lot with the PPC team, and we had a website called freecreditreport.com that wasn't Experian, but it was one of our websites, and we A/B tested one with Experian logo, one without Experian logo, and the one with Experian logo converted a lot higher.
10 times higher pro.
I don't remember the percentage, and obviously Experian logo brand equity had a lot to do with the conversion rate. Literally same PPC, everything the same, just the traditional A/B
Having brand
testing.
awareness is
Yeah,
good
I
and
was trying to
also
get there. I was trying to get there. Like maybe a lot of local businesses need to focus on local SEO and branding and stuff like that, and
run some Facebook remarketing, that sort of
Facebook
thing.
marketing, that
Yeah,
sort of thing, before they start non-branded SEM, because that is very expensive. And even the national level businesses compete with you at local level makes it harder. I was trying to help out somebody who had a coffee shop. This is since last summer, and like he was going against Starbucks and Phil's Coffee and all these other people.
that's rough right there.
I'm like, dude, like unless you do something that Starbucks doesn't sell, like organic CBD infused coffee or something like that.
Yeah, that's where
Like,
you have to have, like,
yeah,
capybaras in your cafe or something.
yeah. I'm like, you're a local SEO play. Like, you just have to double down on local SEO and then build a community on social media where people want to go to your coffee shop versus Starbucks because yours looks more local. It's more
Well, you
self.
compete against it. It's very difficult.
Yeah,
Now,
because the national brands compete with you at local level. That's on a paid side, at least.
if you're a local company competing against nationals, you really have to play up the local thing, which a
Hmm.
coffee shop would, but I wouldn't imagine they would have the budget to go up against,
Yeah.
the big dogs.
Yeah, and I'm like, what's your cost? How much you're gonna charge? What the average person buys in every morning? And he wanted to run the ads just in the mornings. And I'm like, okay, let's say we drive people to your store. how what's the average ticket? It's like about $10, a muffin and a latte. I'm like, you're gonna pay a lot more than that just for CPC, not per lead, for CPC. So I don't think I
I
don't
mean, he'd have to look at his lifetime value at that point. You
yeah,
can't look at the
the immediate thing,
but
yeah.
if they come in every
But when
week
it
for
comes
a
to
year,
coffee,
then
there
you're
is no lifetime
talking
value. I go all over.
$500 maybe, you know?
Yeah. No, it's complicated. I think Google Ads, while it's a good tool, you gotta it's not as, especially since they're taking away more control from us and relying on AI more, I think it's becoming more of a bigger company game.
One of the challenges that you have to go there still,
Yeah.
because literally you're not gonna get found.
Yeah.
You can run Facebook ads. I do some Facebook ads, but quality is gonna be lower.
Yeah.
Show up rate's gonna be lower. You know, everything's gonna be it's totally different than someone actively searching for you. I will say that I found a couple of niches that I'm really gonna focus in on. I'm not gonna mention the niches because I don't want everyone else focusing in on them.
Yeah.
But if you can find a niche with relatively low competition but fairly high revenue per sale, that's
Yeah.
a good niche to be in for Google Ads. It's the low revenue niches, especially niches that are filled with people who are not particularly marketing savvy.
Yeah.
So if you're a marketing savvy home cleaning business, you're going to be able to clean up in your area, so to speak, because most of the home cleaning companies are just local mom and pop type things.
Yeah.
So if you have some marketing skills, you're going to be able to own that market just to be in, by the way, but
Yeah.
because it's got recurring revenue.
Yeah. I find a niche, but I'm more than happy to tell you. Where is Jeffrey Epstein list? That's a good
The
niche.
j- yeah, it's we're waiting on that one to come out.
There's no list. Okay, let's not,
The list
let's
went
keep to
down with Jeffrey
business.
when he killed himself.
And he killed himself. Yeah. Look, I wanted to see, have you explored any AI tools since we spoke last outside ChatGPT? Is
A
there
little
any
bit
good
of Grok,
tool for
mostly to write things for me.
Grok?
A little bit of Grok. I will tell you that Facebook ads does a good job of putting people in your ads. I like to have people in my ads. I don't like a picture of a roof
Yeah.
or a picture of a porch or something. They did a good job of spicing up my picture with realist or my ads with based on the images people gave me with some really realistic looking people in. They didn't
Yeah.
have seven fingers or anything like that. So from that perspective, I don't know, do tools like the video editing that drop in the captioning, are they considered AI? I don't know if that's AI or not.
No, yeah, there are, but I'm talking about specific about Google Ads. Like
No, nothing.
I like something that would help you write ads or help you manage ads or add negatives. I This particular client we worked with, he had the word accident lawyer in his name. Let's say and I'm not gonna mention his name, but let's say if I was a lawyer, my name is Al, right? Al accident lawyer. So if I want to, and he because he did a lot of TV and radio advertising, he just wanted to bid on own brand. So if you bid, even if you put exact match and put Al accident
Yeah,
lawyer,
you'd
you're
have
still
to
gonna show up
negative
with a
out
bunch of other accident
every
lawyers. Yeah.
other.
So
Yeah,
what he wanted us to do is every morning, like 5 in the morning, go in there and manually add a bunch of negatives. And we did that. Eventually became a sustainable.
sounds like a delightful client.
I told him, dude, this is not a good way to do it. But this would be a good case for AI. Is AI going in, adding negative on a fly?
I think
Uh,
the challenge with AI and Google Ads is that it's subjective and nuanced, and I don't think AI does subjective, nuanced things particularly well. For example, you might have to understand the intent of someone when they search for something, or
mhm.
you might have to understand affordable is often a brand name as opposed to a search term.
Yes,
Or you could negative. There's all kinds of implications. I haven't seen any non-AI software that performs particularly. There
yeah,
are some pieces of software that do a decent job of informing you of things like,
yeah.
you've got a
Sorry, I took away from you. No, can you finish your thought? I shared the screen a little too early. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've seen there's some pieces of software that do a fairly decent job of making suggestions, but I've never seen a good AI piece of software to improve the performance of a campaign.
Yeah, I'm trying to test out make.com, which is like Zapier or Zapier. And it's an integrative tool where you can hook up, they send an like yeah, they have some templates and you can create your own templates where you can send an email when a campaign Google ad is close to hitting this budget. Send an email when a campaign in Google ad encounters average CPC, pause, activate campaign, send performance stats from Google Ads and email, manage Google Ads campaign and data in a desired destination. So I'm curious to see how much more you can do with make.com. And that's something that you may want to try too for some of your automated stuff because I don't my business is changing a lot. I don't want to rely on people to do some really basic stuff because we are dropping our prices by a lot for especially for PPC and paid media. Before we used to pay like around $50 per hour for someone to go and just add negative to do some of the stuff that automation can do now. So I am all for automation for basic stuff, not strategic stuff, but for if I like for example, just this manage Google Ads campaign data and send it to the desired destination or email when a campaign Google Ads encounter a CPC. You can do this also within Google platform, but I would the reason I brought this up is if on your free time, if you want to mess around, it's make.com and they also have agentic AI where you can actually have specific agents. Right now, it's becoming very easy to create little tools using agents and stuff like this. So I am my to-do list is to automate our paid media as much as we can because another challenge I had last year that we had when we were managing, and we're going to talk about that because you and I have been talking about this quite a bit recently on our morning walks when we talk to each other. So I think the increasingly the new Google, and this is not to badmouth anybody, but the newer generation Google Ads experts are nothing like you and I. They're
No,
and
I don't think
and
they're Google Ads experts.
yeah, they're not Google Ads experts. They just set it and forget it, guys. And I just got tired of hiring them, giving them good hourly monies or good salaries and getting let down. And these are really good people. Really, they're smart. Don't get me wrong. They're extremely smart, intelligent. But I think something about the new, all this automation stuff, they're setting, Google is purposely setting these PPC people, these Google Ads people to be exactly like that. Where you and I had to literally do an elaborative keyword research. The keyword researches I do compared to the ones that they do is like night and day. I literally don't I
Do they
lose.
do keyword research or they just go in and take suggestions
They take
automatically?
suggestion, they give you 20. I lose sleep over keyword research. Like I'm that bad. And you know what? I thought mine was good till I saw my buddy's keyword research, Steve Wiedemann. He's like next level OCD there. Shout out to Steve, and a good friend. But the newer generations, I'm like, hey, can you do keyword research? And they give me 10 keywords. I'm like, what the hell? Like, seriously? And then you go to the look at the account history, they haven't logged in like a week and a half, 2 weeks,
Or a
or
month or
or
6
a
months?
month or so. And I'm like, hey, we're paying a retainer. Customers paying us retainer for this. And then do I have to do everything ourselves? Then they go over a budget. Oh yeah, I was on a holiday or whatever. Really? Or you couldn't have told me. And they're smart people, but I think there's a structure discipline issue with the new paid media people because they're relying too much on automation. Do you agree?
I would say that 90% of the campaigns we see are crap.
Yeah.
So
There's so many opportunity only if you know when to use automation and not to use automation.
one of the challenges is you can create a beautiful Google Ads campaign, perfect,
Yeah.
and still have problems making it perform. What they do typically is they'll set up a PMax or something like that. They'll see conversions. They'll say, "Look, I'm kicking butt. I'm getting $7 conversions," but you're not getting leads. Conversions ain't leads.
Yeah.
You're getting someone clicking on a direction on a GMB or something like that,
Yeah.
or something that's not a lead. A phone call with
And then
intent.
if it's a lead, but is it a good lead or not a good lead? That's another.
Right. Is it a marketing qualified lead? That's our goal. Our goal is
Yeah.
to create marketing qualified leads.
And Google Ads, unlike social media ads, is a low funnel lead. So there's not a whole lot of nurturing you should do if you. So that
No,
yeah, I
especially
mean,
if it's an urgent service.
Google. Yeah, 2 out of 3 Google Ads leads should be MQL. If not, at least like 1.5 or two out of
Yeah.
four. Two out
So
of
you
four
have
need to
people
be. Yeah.
that will opt into networks they shouldn't. They will use broad match entirely and never do a negative keyword, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. Broad match is the way I do it. I use a little bit of broad match and phrase match to get data, and then I go exact match. Or
I
do you recommend
mean,
just going all exact match?
no, exact in phrase and broad match if you are either desperate for traffic, or in some cases you can
Yeah, in
run broad match
nonprofits,
if
like we run a nonprofit campaign, we're desperate for traffic.
yeah, if you're exactly. If you're
Yeah,
doing broad match, in some cases we have broad okay, so if we start a campaign with exact and phrase, which is often how we do it, max clicks, we might move at some point into max conversion, target CPA, but the client says, okay, this is doing really good, but I want more leads. At that point, we'll run an experiment 50% of their traffic to a broad match campaign, everything else the same going in that you're going to have to add negatives like crazy. But also, if you are running a broad match experiment, broad match max conversions TCPA with good history, you're going to get better leads than if you just start out broad match max clicks type of thing. But there is a case for broad match, but I think you step into it or you use it as like a Hail Mary many times. A lot of people just go straight broad match and nothing else. Broad match, no conversion tracking, one ad group, you know, whatever. And you're going to get traffic. One of the challenges that we have when we take over a campaign, if they've been running it wrong, they've been sending traffic to search partners to display, they'll be like, 2 weeks later, the client said, "Oh my God, my search volume dropped by 90% and my cost per click went up 500%." Yes, that is true because now we're targeting actual searches for the thing you do in the area that you do it. We're not targeting crappy third party websites where people apply for jobs and stuff like that. So, targeted traffic on Google Ads is expensive.
yeah,
If you're getting cheap clicks, you're doing it wrong.
yeah, yeah. And also, there's also the story of pausing campaigns.
Yeah, you
SMBs do
don't
that
want
a
to do
lot.
that if you've got an algorithm going.
Yeah, SMBs do that a lot. Again, with a returning client that we had that we no longer have, that's something I always told them: stop pausing your ads. Like the moment they got busy, they would pause it, and then when they were on busy, like when they wanted more leads again, they would like turn it back on. And I'm like, oh, it's gonna ramp up. It's gonna take a
Even if you're
how many days? I'm like, I don't know. Sometimes they would talk down on me. It's like that it's my fault. I'm like, no, it's your fault and it's Google's fault. I'm just
right.
like turning things
No,
back
I'm
on.
having that right now. You're the
Yeah,
Google Ads expert. Why isn't my traffic there? Because we're running max clicks. It takes
yeah,
a while to kick in. Literally nothing I can do. I didn't,
yeah,
everything's perfect.
yeah, yeah.
Um, so the other thing is we would prefer people to reduce their budget rather than pause their campaigns, like just spend less. But if you're running a target CPA of like 100 and all of a sudden you reduce your budget to $50 a day, that messes any, once you're zoned in, and have a good lead flow and a good cost per lead, anything you do to that campaign is not going to be helpful. Like, even if you optimize it and you want to bring your target CPA down a little bit, bring it down by dollars. Don't bring it down 50% because you're just going to, it just skews things. Once you get something zoned in, be thankful. Don't mess with it. Have someone answer the phone while you're gone. Yeah, that's my advice.
I agree. This is why we have CRMs and automations. Keep taking those leads, and then you can reach out to them when you can, but don't mess up with the algorithm. Don't mess up with your all that stuff. And sorry, I keep meeting myself back and forth because the gardeners here. So
That's okay.
let's go back to our AI again. So
Back to AI again.
yeah, I'm excited and I'm afraid of AI. I'm afraid because I'm going to lose my job at some point to it. I don't know when. But when that happens, I think we have a bigger societal problem because it's going to be have a bunch of unemployed people. But I'm also excited because of the amount of automation that I can do right now that I couldn't do before. So my question to you, and I can also keep things lower overhead. Like I said, if I do some of this stuff using Make.com, Zapier, whatever, build my own agents, I won't have to hire someone at $50 per hour to just add negative keywords. I can do that here. So my goal is to go toward that direction and that pass the saving to the customers. That's my goal. What is your goal adopting AI? Do you have any goals, or do you want to keep going status
I
quo?
will adopt AI when I see effective implementations of AI. Otherwise, I don't care about it.
Yeah. Yeah, you
I
just keep the
don't believe there's
minimal
an
ad
AI
copies,
agency
whatever.
out there.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
I work with a lot of agencies. I've seen 1,000 people become AI agencies. Can you tell me what an AI agency is?
Yeah, that's a stupidest name, AI agency, because if everything's going to become AI,
I'll be excited
what is
about
it?
AI when I can implement something useful. Occasionally, it does some good
I think
things
our
that I
job,
can do.
I think our job as marketers is just to learn AI, just how we learned when we learned Google Ads and new features came out. We also have to learn what AI can do for you. And what I've noticed, Mark, is that every release of OpenAI or ChatGPT or whatever, it gets smarter and smarter. They used to when I used to generate banner images in ChatGPT, like you said, the example you gave earlier, we used to give me a guy with 7 fingers, and now it's actually 5 fingers, right? So I think it's gonna get better and better. I'm gonna use this as a smart automation. I'm gonna continue being in the driver's seat. I'm gonna continue to be in the strategist.
I will continue to adopt it as I see people like you do something useful with it. Most
Yeah.
of what I've seen so far is not particularly useful.
Yeah, because of quote unquote capitalism. People see the opportunity, they create a tool, they go raise money, and then it's business first, not solution first. Whereas I think AI, and this happened by the way in the .com days. Remember .com? People were spending 20, $30,000 for five page websites. I used to work for a .com company that charged somebody $100,000 to create a Flash only website. I was like, and it was completely useless. Remember Flash?
Yeah.
So I think there are those people that jump. There's this shiny objects to jump on the trend and they just make some fast cash. Then that's a short term with AI. There are Google Ads tools out there. Like I saw an ad from another agency. This will replace your Google Ads agency, and I did, and your SEO agency, and I did test that out, and no, because everything was too generic, and also they relied on the tags every time. Let's say you could write title, time, meta descriptions, and deploy it. The moment you remove the tag from your website, all that goes away. I think marketers like you and I have to adopt AI gradually. We need to create our own tools, our own
I
agents.
will adopt anything that shows me it can work. I
Yeah, yeah,
haven't seen that yet.
yeah, yeah. Cool.
What it's done useful for me is some images, and yeah, there is a lot more hype in there, Dustin. It does good on some images and it writes things well for me. It
Yeah.
writes better than I do. It gives me answers to things that are complex, but I don't know if they're correct.
Yeah, no, I know. And that's another thing is that I see a lot of incorrect information, be it content or code.
Think about it. Large language model pulls from a wide variety of sources
Yeah.
and gives you an answer based on that. What wide variety of sources do you know on any subject that's really accurate?
Yeah. And it's called artificial intelligence for a reason. Artificial. It's not real. So you still need to be. I'm curious about it, about like the stuff I showed you earlier about automation, because some of the automation I used to do with Zapier was like just not as good. It was just
I think we're
binary
in,
one on zero. And now you can actually add a little bit of logic and reason into it.
but we're in an industry that is super attracted by, first of all, it's full of a lot of marketing hype. Second of all, it's people chase a lot of shiny objects, and more so than any industry I've ever seen,
Oh
been
yeah,
in,
I know. Yeah,
involved in.
yeah.
Shiny objects, and they're desperately trying to figure out how to be relevant.
Yeah, yeah, that's totally it. You're 100% correct. I have interviewed quote unquote AI consultants, and I'm like, okay, tell me about your background. Oh, I was a field major. Okay, what do you know about AI? And whereas I'm a computer science major and undergrad, and I don't consider myself AI expert. I'm a savvy AI user. I took a course on Coursera and agentic AI and how to prompt better, prompt engineering. But even then, I think that's the problem with marketing. The field in marketing is that a lot of the stuff is about getting attention, getting traffic, getting business, getting leads. It's not real. And that's a warning I give to all the fellow marketers is that try to learn try to learn your gaps first, like what you need help with. For example, the example I gave earlier, figuring out I want a mechanism to add negative keywords automatically because I don't want to do it myself. and I need to do it every other day or every day. I don't have time for that. So that would be good usage of AI if someone comes up with it, or if I can figure out how to create a little GPT or agent. But putting everything in the hand of AI, like some of those some of those tools give you, is a terrible idea. It's a terrible idea, especially if your business is like the example I gave you earlier, the estate planning one. Hey, I only want litigation cases, not like the other ones. You have specific needs, and you're letting a machine figure it out for you. And at some point it may, but you've already spent so much money, which kind of takes me to my last question. Performance Max, you use it at all or no?
We've tested it. Here's you can get some good leads from Performance Max. Here's the challenge that I've run into. You're going to get crap leads from Performance Max. Overall, even including the crap leads, your cost per lead may be lower. But one of the battles that we fight is not it's not the performance of our campaigns, it's perception. So even if I'm getting a lower cost, let's say I used to get 50 leads from a search campaign, now I get 100 leads, and they're way cheaper, but a third of them are crap.
Yeah.
We're still further ahead. The average cost per lead, the average conversion rate, the money's going to work out to be better once you close deals and everything. But the client says, I'm getting calls for jobs every day.
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, you are, but you're getting calls for leads. They're much cheaper. Yeah, but I'm getting,
Yeah.
so you're up against the perception of I'm getting crappy leads.
Yeah.
And
You have to
so
have it. You have to have an infrastructure in place that could filter some of those leads out, or else you
you
won't.
would have to have something that
Yeah.
said automatically respond to this if you're interested and do
Yeah.
this and do that. And then
Yeah.
you're going to filter out some of your good leads. I've seen it kind of work. It works for e-commerce.
Yeah. I don't know. We tested it for e-commerce clients. I don't know if it works. it,
Well,
it's cannibalizing the brand a lot. That's what it's
put it
doing.
this way, it's not a massive improvement on what exists.
It's cannibalizing the brand. That's all it is doing.
Yeah, if you exclude brand,
Yeah. And if
or
you
you have no
exclude
brand back
brand,
then, you're screwed.
yeah, yeah. Anyhow, we hit the 45 minutes mark, and I gotta get going. Thanks for jumping on this call. I'll
It's
talk to
always
you.
a pleasure.
Why don't you give a like a 1-2 minute like recap of who you are, since you didn't introduce in the beginning of the call, and
Mark
where people
Kelly,
can find you.
inbound revenue, inboundrevenue.com. We do white label Google ads, and we do Google ads for direct clients. And that's pretty much what we get up and do all day, every day.
And you're the second best Google Ads expert I know after myself.
I'll take that. I'll
I'm
take
joking.
that.
Yeah.
You're the best enterprise SEO and SEM guy that I know, and you're better
Thank you.
than
Oh yeah,
me.
enterprise for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. Cool. Thanks, bud. Have a good one, and
Have a great weekend.
hopefully we find that list.
What's that?
Hopefully we'll find the list. Somebody.
Yes, hopefully. And I'm going to go get some more wine. How's that sound?
All right. Enjoy. Cheers.
Okay, take care, brother. Bye bye.